Welcome everybody to Big Ben and Ty Sports Cave. As always, we have Big Ben and Wade. So today's a big day, April 1st, and there's no fooling about this. We'll get right into it. We will do our Bayleaf giveaway drawing. But right before we do that, Wade, go ahead and tell everybody about Bayleaf and hopefully what they're going to get if they go to using this $20 gift card.
Yeah, our lucky winner here gets a chance to go to Bayleaf Indian Restaurant and Bar, located in downtown Peoria, right by the riverfront, just a few blocks away from Carver Arena. It's a wonderful place. You get to enjoy all kinds of food there. They have a wide variety of food that's good for the entire family, including kids. Um, like I said, I've never seen anybody complain about the food there. They cater to your taste, so if you don't like spicy food, they got you covered. But if you enjoy the spices, they got you covered there as well. Got good drinks down there, good prices. Good. Just everything's good. Trust me when I say that. The atmosphere, the service. I've been there a few times. I always make it a point to try different food items while I'm there. Um, just all delicious food. And I do recommend the mango lassi as a drink.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's an amazing drink. So get on down there, check them out, tell them Wade sent you, and you get a $20 gift card, the lucky winner here, to try this food out. And I promise you, you'll come back for more.
Yeah, and then when you use that, tell them that we sent you
Yeah.
because we're giving you a chance here. So Ben, let's go ahead and find out who our winner is here.
Out of what did I say? 100 and hold on. I gotta get rid of this one before I show this one. There we go. 118 entries. As you can see, they're all randomly generated spaces around, so they're not all together. So you actually have a chance. It made it even more fair, just randomly putting them around. And yeah, let's see. You guys ready?
So without further ado, let's spin this wheel and figure out who our winner is. That thing's spinning.
I did it for like a 30-second spin. Sorry.
Oh, well, we got 30 seconds.
It's almost done.
There it goes. Oh. There we go.
It looks like Tire Guy got it.
So, Eric, congratulations. You actually won the $20 gift card. We will get you that as soon as possible. That's awesome. Like I said, guys, we're going to be doing this again. I really think we're going to be doing this again real soon, guys. I thank you for everybody that's liking, sharing, commenting the show. We're building a pretty good show here, and we can't thank you fans enough. Really,
right,
we can't.
Exactly.
Like I said, if you didn't win this one, like I said, there'll be plenty of chances.
Plenty more.
Yeah, because we are going to be doing a lot more stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So with that being said, congratulations to the winner. We'll get right into the suitcase report here for the Peoria Rivermen. The only one that I have on my suitcase report is Massey is still playing in Iowa. And then for the ice pack report, we have Chartrand and Martin still on the IR as of right now. These are the transactions for today. Mike Moran was placed on waivers, and we added a defensive man Gunnar Moore. Wade, I'm not too sure if this is a bad move, really. Mike's been kind of, I don't know, to me, he's been kind of going through the motions ever since he's gotten to us. I'm not too sure about, I'm not familiar, I should say, with Gunnar Moore. Maybe Wade, you could fill us in because I know Ben and I are probably not familiar with Gunnar Moore, as probably maybe you are. So, do you have any other info on that?
I don't really have a whole lot of info. Gunnar Moore is, I didn't see any info on the site about Gunnar Moore. Check again real quick. But I agree with you on Mike Moran. I mean, he did get into a couple of scraps. I mean, but those were about his highlights. I mean, his only highlights of being in Peoria was the 2 scraps he was in. So, I mean, I got nothing on Gunnar Moore, so I think he's a college kid. This will probably be his pro debut. So we'll see how that goes. I did see that college kids, they don't have to have a certain amount of games to qualify for the playoffs. SPHL veterans, they got to have 5, but Gunnar necessarily don't need 5 games to qualify for the playoffs. I'm not saying we're going to take him into the playoffs, but I'm just saying if we did, he's technically already qualified. So we'll see where that goes. I was kind of hoping maybe it hasn't gotten to our turn yet, but I did see recently Macon waived Max Messier, and he's the exact type of player Riverman needs. He's a winger, a large body who plays very physical, and is one of the better fighters in the league as well. I was really hoping we could sign him off the waiver wire. Maybe he hasn't gotten to us yet, but I think he would be a good player to carry into the playoffs, honestly. But we'll see how that goes.
And right now we're kind of limited on roster spots.
We are.
And that's why I want to kind of bring this up. A lot of fans out there are not too thrilled with having Piotrowski on the roster and him not showing up. I have my own thoughts on it. Guys, do you have any thoughts on that? Both of you, before I get to my thought.
Yeah, I definitely have thoughts.
Not offhand, but I'm sure Wade will say enough or you will say enough that I'll tend to agree with it. So,
but see, look.
Nope.
Roster show up. Period. I mean, if we get have you sign on this roster and you're not showing up for games, I don't know why we're wasting our time and you're wasting a roster spot. Not even playing heading into the playoffs. Honestly, I think JMP should be waived. I don't think we should waste a playoff roster spot on JMP if he's not going to be here. Like, there's people that are working, showing up every day, playing with this team, and you're going to take a roster spot away from them to give it to a guy that's not showing up. I get it. He's a fan favorite. People like him. We've kind of spoke about this before. This is what we mean by moving on from the past. JMP, like I said, I love the guy. He helped win a championship in Roanoke, scoring the game-winning goal. I'll always be grateful and have love for him. I honestly don't see why he's on the roster right now, and I'd be perfectly okay with him being waived off the roster, not being on the playoff roster.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. It just seems like he's on the roster, he's taking up a roster spot, and he hasn't showed up for the last 2, 4?
At least three games.
3 games.
He didn't
And
play
to me,
Evansville or the 2 home games against Evansville, so at least 3.
yeah, and to me, I think Eureka might be still on the roster if we didn't have to have a roster spot for the guys coming back from the ECHL and all the other stuff. So, and that's another thing I keep telling people too. We got to have a roster spot open for Massey when he's done in Iowa.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things where there's just not enough roster spots right now, and to have one guy that hasn't been showing up take up one of those roster spots, to me, it seems silly. But I mean, who knows? Maybe, like I said before, and we've all said it, Guy must have a plan. That's all there is to it. But it's just
Exactly.
seems kind of silly to be wasting a roster spot on a guy that's not showing up. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's move on from that. Ben, go ahead and give us your opponent outlook for Friday and Thursday and Friday. Sorry, Thursday and Friday games.
Well, there you go. There's let me actually put that up there. There we go. And I'll say the names right this time because I actually practiced. We got the Macon Mayhem versus the Fayetteville Marksmen, and then that was tomorrow night. Friday night, we have them again. Both of them will be at the Crown Coliseum. Then we also have Birmingham versus Knoxville at the Knoxville Coliseum. Pensacola, not Pennsylvania, versus Evansville, which is, I think that'll be a good one because those are like, what, 1 and 2 in the standings?
Well, Rivermen are 1, but they're like
Or I
second
meant 2 and 3,
third,
2 and 3, 2 and 3 for some reason.
3 and 4, something like that.
I was thinking 1 and 2 behind the Rivermen is what I was thinking. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, then we have Huntsville versus the Quad City. And then to round out till Friday is Roanoke versus the greatest SPHL team in the world, the Peoria Rivermen. And that's Thursdays and Fridays games.
There's some good ones in there, and it's probably going to be tough for Wade to pick this, but go ahead with your featured face-off here, Wade.
It's always tough. At this time of year, my focus has been at the bottom because it's been a great fight. I mean, you got 3 teams tied at 65 points with Dogs, Bolts, and Flyers. You got Havoc in second place with just 66 points. I mean, you talk about a log jam right there in the middle of the standings. But to me, still, the most interesting part is at the bottom because of the importance of making the playoffs. I mean, to finish up the year, you got Macon Mayhem versus Fayetteville Marksmen. And Fayetteville Marksmen, to have any hope in a prayer of somehow making a playoff spot, they got to sweep that, and they still need help. They still need Huntsville Havoc to sweep Storm to have any type of hope. Marksmen are currently 4 points behind Quad City Storm and 3 points behind Macon Mayhem. So 3 games remaining. Like I said, if they lose one of those games to Macon, it's highly unlikely that they might catch Macon and get the 9th spot, but they're still missing the playoffs, most likely. So they need all 3 wins. They just kind of have to have it. And Macon, if they can win 2 out of 3, they're gonna they have a fair shot at giving themselves a playoff spot because Quad City Storm they got a tough opponent draw with Havoc. I mean, Havoc could very well sweep them both games. Havoc is still playing for something. They're only 1 point ahead of 3 other teams. Havoc want to stay in second place because that means they have home ice advantage throughout the entire playoffs unless they're playing Rivermen in the finals. So Havoc wants to hang on to that number 2 spot, and with literally 3 other teams nipping on their heels, they have a lot to play for too. They're not going to roll over for Quad City Storm. So,
Yeah.
that's good news for Macon Mayhem and the Fayetteville Marksmen. It gives them both an opportunity to overtake the 8th position. So that's what I mean. You just got a cluster of good games at the bottom with Quad City Storm, Huntsville Havoc, and of course Macon and Fayetteville. You know what? My heart, I kind of want to see Macon take that 8th spot. I really do. I think that would be cool for that organization, for their fans. That's who the first round opponent would be for the Rivermen, would be Macon. We haven't seen Macon all year.
Yeah.
So, and I'm tired of seeing Quad City Storm in the first round. And no, I'm not scared of you guys. We've swept you back. That's not the reason. I'm just tired of seeing you. And Fayetteville's got their work cut out. They've one loss and they're basically done. So I have my doubts that it'll be Fayetteville Marksmen. So that's my featured face-off is Macon Mayhem and Fayetteville Marksmen. We'll see if Macon Mayhem can sneak into that 8th position over Quad City Storm.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting, because Quad Cities could technically, if they win, 2 games and Knoxville loses, I mean they could jump up into 7th place.
Yeah, that's very possible.
So I mean you got so much going on right now, which is like we said before, these point standings are just ridiculously close. I mean, like you said, you got Roanoke, Evansville, and Pensacola all tied with 65 points. So who's gonna jumble there? I'm sure Roanoke doesn't want to come into Peoria this coming up weekend and lose and drop all the way to 5th place.
I mean, you got vying for 2nd place.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of one of those deals. It's going to be interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I agree that Fayetteville game is going to be probably a very close eye on that. And I agree with you on I don't want to see Quad Cities the first round. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's just they're due. That's what's scary. I mean, and again, I really don't want to see Evansville in the playoffs. Yeah, we handled them pretty decent over the weekend, most Saturday and Sunday, but they are a very tough team, and Eric does make a point there. He does that, but it's one of those deals where, like, if you were a player and your owner's telling you to lay down, like, I'm sorry, but I go out there and I play 100%, or I don't play at all.
Honestly, I don't think Norris is that. I mean, I'm not a fan of Norris at all. Really don't like the guy, but I don't think he's that type of guy where he's going to tell Fayetteville to basically take a dive for Macon. He's not that type of owner. And the players, they're going to go out there and do their thing. They're not going to listen to that, even if they're told to. So, I mean, I don't see that being a thing. I mean, Fayetteville's going to try and beat Macon because technically they still have a path to make playoffs. So,
yeah,
I don't think that we don't have to worry about Marksmen laying down for Macon.
Yeah. So speaking of this past weekend, the Rivermen won Saturday 3-1, and then they won Sunday 2-1 against the Evansville Thunderbolts. I'm telling you, Wade, I like the all white. I'm not gonna lie, the white out. It was actually really cool to see. Even with the pants, I didn't know they were doing pants To be honest, I didn't know. But they looked. I think they looked pretty decent on Saturday. They had, a few things that you and I have discussed at one of the intermissions. There's some stuff that needed to be cleaned up, but for all in all purposes, they didn't look horrible Saturday.
No, they really didn't. I mean, to me, and yes, I know because I know probably Eric will jump on and say there was some lapses, but I mean, to me, the defense and goaltending was on point. You look at
excuse me.
the last game we played when we won 2-1. We held them to 16 shots total, and they
Yeah.
only had 7 shots on goal through 2 periods. That's outstanding defense, and of
Yeah.
course, Boston being in net. Some goalies will tell you, me included, sometimes it's a little tougher at net when you're only facing a couple of shots a period. It's a little harder to stay focused. You don't want to get slaughtered by the puck, but you want to see some action. You
Yeah.
want to feel the puck, and you want to take a few shots. So I mean, sometimes it could be tougher to keep that focus when you're not seeing the puck as much. So I mean, Boston still had to make some sharp saves, even though he didn't see as much action. And I thought the team overall played well. Again, I still think our offense can execute better. There is still some stuff to clean up on the offensive side of things, but all in all, a much better effort by the team and a little bit better executing than what we've seen in the past, for sure.
Austin, I don't know who's going to drop the gloves this weekend. I hope it doesn't. I mean, in a way, I hope it turns into the first games of the season against the Roanoke, because that would be kind of cool to see at our barn. But honestly, I don't think we can afford to have somebody hurt or suspended. And kind of going back to what Wade was saying, I agree. Our offense is still struggling on the power play. The power play is struggling right now. It seems like they can't keep it in the offensive zone. Is what I'm seeing. But like you said, defense, goaltending, all weekend really was really good. You had Latino in on what was it, Saturday?
Yeah.
And then you had Boss on Sunday, and Tino looked good Saturday. He really did. He just let that one go by that he probably would want back because he had a shutout going. But I mean, it was a pretty decent shot. I will give him that. And like you said, he didn't face a lot of shots either Saturday.
No, he didn't. 18 total. 4
Yeah.
in the first and 4 in the third. I mean, that's again, our defense really showed up. There's a few lapses, a few turnovers, but people got to remember on turnovers, sometimes your defense can't get back in time. It doesn't mean your defense isn't playing well. That's what happens when you turn the puck over. Your defense can't always get in the best position, and you rely on that goaltender to come up with a big save.
Yeah.
So
and then when you're playing aggressiveness, with the defense going into the offensive zone, it, like you said, sometimes it's hard to get back. So it's like I said, turnovers killed us, I think, a lot. But I will say this: we controlled the neutral zone really good over this weekend too, and see what happens when we control the neutral zone.
Right.
So,
and looking at the numbers, we were 1 for 11 on the power play, and just in the 2 games in Peoria. So that needs to be cleaned up ASAP in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I agree with Eric there. He should have never brought the puck out in front. That was I heard this from an NHL player. That's one of the sins. You never pass the puck in front of your own net, and you never come out when you're pressured in front of your own net because bad things can happen.
Mhm.
and that's exactly what happened.
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it will. I would think it was on Ryder, and so I mean, I guess it was one of those where you just move on and
Well, which
forget
one?
about it, and Ryder, the Ryder let in. So
Terry or Tyler?
Tyler.
I think it was, yeah, I think it was Tyler. Yeah,
Okay.
but honestly, I have
Still,
nothing but good things to
regardless of
say
who it
about Tyler.
is, they still shouldn't have done it. But
Yeah,
it was.
and Tyler's very aggressive when it comes to the offensive side, and I kind of like seeing that. Oh, it was Terry. Eric said it was Terry. I think he is right. I think it was Terry
Yeah.
that night. Um,
Yeah, no, he's
yeah,
right. I said the wrong name. It is Terry.
yeah. Well, you got T Ryder and T Ryder. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna get them mixed up every now and then. But
Well, if you can't remember the numbers,
yeah.
7 and 25.
So yeah, this past weekend I think it was a good weekend for the Rivermen. It kind of got our defensive going. Like I said, Wade and I and Ben all agree. I think our offense still needs a little bit of tweaking, but
Little.
uh,
I think it's getting
maybe
there.
with
I think it's getting there.
Gillette being back and Divine being back, maybe we can start kind of getting back into that groove. It was so I was so glad to see them back this past weekend.
Yeah.
And I think that actually did open our offense up just a little bit this past weekend.
I agree with that.
So before we kind of move on to talking about this weekend and stuff, you guys got anything else you want to kind of discuss?
All right. I think for myself personally, I would like to say congratulations to Mike Chesney on being the Heating It Up Player of the Week. I thought that's pretty cool. And also, there will be no practice this weekend at Peoria Speedway because of the weather we've had the past couple days.
It was supposed to be opening night this weekend.
Or opening night, too, as well. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was supposed to be opening night at Peoria Speedway this weekend. They decided to cancel it because of the rain. So, no racing this weekend. That's what bad about racing early in the springtime. It always raining, and you can't race in the complete mud. Even though they water the track, we can't race in complete mud. So,
Right.
and also, Peoria fans, Michael McChesney and a couple other Rivermen designed this hat, so buy one. They're pretty cool. I got mine this past weekend, and I decided to wear it tonight. So it's a nice hat. It really is. It's a nice hat. Fits good, and
The only hat
so
I
get you
have
one.
is the popcorn bucket helmet.
Yeah, there you go. So I think this weekend is going to be interesting. Roanoke Rail Dogs come into town. They are right now. They are sitting in third place in the standings, and it is Friday night, Scooby Doo night. And are they giving out the trading cards this time, Wade, or are they just doing like an April Fool's for us?
They are giving out the trading cards April 3rd and also honoring Bart Rogers and
Yes,
the Rivermen Hall of Fame Friday night as well.
yes. And then Saturday night they are also inducting what's his name? Yes, into the Hall of Fame as well Saturday night. Kind of going off topic here just a little bit. Wade, do we see them retire the number 17 next year?
I think we all want to see it. I mean, he's one of the most important players to come through Peoria. I mean, you think Peoria Rivermen hockey, normally Hageman's the first guy that comes to your mind, especially in the SPHL era.
Yeah.
He just meant so much to that team and to this fan base and to the city of Peoria. You would love to see this man be honored in every way, shape, and form. In the Riverman Hall of Fame, to his number being retired. I think he deserves all the bells and whistles. So I would love to see it. Do we see it? I don't know, but it sure would be awesome to see that happen for him.
Because they got a spot up there.
They do.
They got a spot up there next to Tony Twist and Kelly Chase, and my mind just totally went blank. Evans, Doug Evans. Yeah, Evans up there. So I just have a gut feeling that we're gonna see number 17 up there, hopefully next year. And honestly, I hope they have like a specialty jersey. You know, they kind of did it for him that year he was going to retire. They did, you know, the last game I think it was like the last game of the season. They did a Hageman kind of tribute jersey, but I think it'd be kind of cool to see it again, you know, and retire the number. And I think it would be well deserved for him for that.
I would like to see it
But
for
yeah.
all of our retired guys, you know, like when we rename it the Peoria Chasers. I think Chase deserves that honor as well. Fighting for cancer. Dude's battling hard too. Like it is cool.
Yeah.
You know, watching the strength he has battling that. Like I said, Chase and Twister meant so much to me growing up. So I mean, I would love to see something like that done as well with Chase, and even honoring Doug Evans. I mean, outside of Alec Hageman, Doug Evans is probably the most well-known, respected captain.
Oh yeah. I like Doug when I seen him play for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he was a player coach, I believe, for a little bit as well. So
yeah, I'll have to look at my storage, but I believe I actually have a Doug Evans lumber.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to have. Like I said, I mean, we had so many great players that came through Peoria, like Trevor Baker, Jason Christie, which, like I said, Jason Christie just got inducted in the ECHL Hall of Fame. I mean, you go back to, like, you know, you kind of go to the AHL era. You know, you have your Ben Bishops, you have your Reeves, you know, you have David Backus when he played for Peoria. So, like I said, that's where I kind of grew up, you know, because, you know, I'm the young one here. I grew up with, you know, Trevor Baker and stuff like that, but mostly it was the AHL era. Like Austin Borey said, Jake Allen. Jake Allen was a hell of a goalie for Peoria.
he was.
Loved watching him in St. Louis. Trent Whitfield. You don't hear people talk about Trent Whitfield, but he was our captain for years in Peoria.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of cool. And watched 90s, him play St. Louis.
Yeah. I was more 90s IHL Riverman fan before I got out of it for a while.
So yeah, no, I agree with you, Wade. They should be, given a tip to the hat or a tilt to the hat to everybody that played for the Rivermen. I mean, I actually said something to my wife one game. I'm like, I wonder if they're going to do the Peoria Chasers or something, or something like that. And she goes, well, what would it be? And I said, I don't know. And she says, well, you don't want to put a tornado on the jerseys, then we'd look like the Quad City Storm. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they would come up with if they did like a Peoria Chasers or something like that. So, which, like I said, I watching Chase go through this cancer thing, man, it's saddening to see. He's lost so much weight and he's battling, like you said, he's battling like hell. And like I said, I wish nothing but the best for him. Cause like I said, it's nice to hear him on some podcasts that he does. And, I love it when him and, Hall and Twister gets together and they do that little podcasts that they do and listen to the old Peoria stories that they talk about sometimes, and it's actually pretty fun to watch.
For sure.
So it's very nice to see fans recognize those people, and it's kind of cool to listen to like the old school fans talk about the old days when it comes to those players.
Yeah.
So
Well, I meant to break this out sooner, but I mean, old Riverman stick here from the IHL days, and I got Doug Evans' signature right there on it. So, like I said, this
yeah,
is a treasured thing. To me, I mean, growing up watching Doug Evans too, I mean, that was Peoria Riverman hockey as well. I mean, the dude was so well loved and so well respected. I mean, at one point in time, when you thought Riverman hockey, you thought Doug Evans. That was the first name that
yeah,
came to your mind. So, like I said, I have nothing but love and respect for that guy. And I hope, it would be so cool if somehow we can get him to come back to Carver and honor him the same way we did Twister. It'd be cool to do that with Chase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a greedy man, like you. I want them all. I want all legends to come back.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be kind of cool to just see some of the guys from the AHL come back. I know we just had Ben Bishop a year ago or something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to see them. I mean, a lot of fans, they don't like the AHL era, and and I understand why they probably don't. And there's still some fans are still mad at the Blues for what they did. But honestly, I'm a Blues fan. I always will be a Blues fan.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't. I understand why they did what they did. If something is costing you more money than what you're actually gaining from, and you're not putting good quality show on the ice, I mean, would you keep them?
Yeah, I'm one of those salty fans, but at the same time, I agree with you. I understand why they did it because it was basically a monetary move. They weren't making the money for the Blues, so I get that part.
It's like that was the beginning at the end, was going to the AHL. I mean, they really were, to me, the best home for the Rivermen were in the ECHL. Probably should have stayed in the ECHL. Once they went to the AHL, I was like, man, I love it, but man, that's going to be tough to maintain and keep them up there long term. And I seen the writing on the wall coming, and it's unfortunate. It does suck. I understand why people are salty about it, but growing up, especially in the IHL era, when you see all those guys with the Rivermen move up and play for the Blues, you just can't erase that. I'm sorry, you can't do it. And so I'll always be a Blues fan no matter what, but I do understand.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I my team, of course, is the Blackhawks, but during that era, I actually enjoyed watching, the Blues game, even though they're mortal enemies. But I get it.
Ethan's got a question. Do you think the Ice Bears will make it to the playoffs? I really do. I do think they'll make the playoffs. I don't see them dropping that low. I think they will make the playoffs. I think Birmingham will make the playoffs. I don't see. Yeah. I don't see them dropping down and out of the playoffs, Ethan. But thanks for the question. I just don't see it happening. So, kind of getting into this weekend, let's go ahead and we'll fire up our big three for this weekend. Kind of discussed against Roanoke a little bit, but I kind of have to kind of get ready to go hockey myself. My son's practicing tonight, so. Ben, go ahead and give us your big three this weekend against Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs.
I think they'll go ahead and have Boss do the Friday game. And I really like to see Terry redeem himself for making that mistake to let that goal in. And also, I like to see Kyler help Boss as well keep the goals out of the net in the area. And for the forwards, I really like to see Fox, get some goals in like he was at the beginning of the year, because he was my favorite one for this year's version of the Rivermen. And I also like to see, as you guys said, like maybe Ernst get some in there as well with Divine, helping everybody else out as well on the offense. And those are my players. Now for the big three keys to the game for me, again, it's always set the tone. But in saying set the tone, it can be set the tone for three different areas. It can be setting the tone to be the first goal. It can set the tone to control the neutral zone. And it can set the tone to just be tough, Riverman style, as we always say. And those are my 3-on-3.
All right, Wade, go ahead and give us your big three.
Well, as we know it, it's going to be a big one with Roanoke. We touched on it earlier. Roanoke still has something to play for, trying to get that number 2 spot away from Havoc. We are 3-1 on the season against the Dogs, so we do have that winning record coming in here. Both kind of even right now. I mean, in the last 10 games, 6-3, both teams, or 6-4. My fault. In the last 10 games, so we're kind of like coming into this pretty even, playing pretty evenly, which I think is what's going to make a good matchup. We can't lay down against these guys. They're going to come in physical. So I think the first thing we need to do is control the pace, set the pace of the game, and we dictate that. Don't let the Dogs dictate the pace and put us behind early, because it's going to be tough to catch up to them. So my first key is dictate the pace. My second key is impose your will. It kind of goes with dictate the pace, but again, we want them playing our game. We don't want to play into their game. So we want to impose our will and be sharp on our fundamentals, playing physical hockey, but also not taking those unnecessary calls. My third key is, again, I'm going to tie it together because it goes together, but the power play and offense. I still think there's things to clean up in that department. Like I said, this weekend in Peoria, we went 1 for 11 on the power play. That's not good enough. That's not good enough, I guarantee you, for Trudell and the players, and it shouldn't be good enough for us fans either. That's got to be better, especially in the playoffs. And like I said, we got to do more than this 2 goals a game, because what that third goal was an empty net goal in the other game. So we're still basically scoring like 2 goals a game. Look, our offense and our defense and goaltending has been sharp, but we got to support them better than just getting like 2 goals a game. So we got to start scoring. We got to start putting the puck in the net one way or another. And I do believe it starts with a strong power play. Roanoke leads the league in penalty minutes. We're going to get our opportunities on the power play. Take advantage of it. That'll set us up nice heading into the playoffs. So that's my big 3 for that. For now, on the player side of things, it's a little harder to choose because, we're starting to wind down here. So with the roster changes and everything, it gets a little tougher to pick. But one of my first guys I'm going to pick is Matt Wiesner. Matt Wiesner can be a spark for this team, especially in the face-off circle. He's very good at winning draws in the face-off, and he can be a little spark plug out there when we need him. And he can also put the puck in the net. I would love to see him put the puck in the net against the Dogs at some point in time. I do think that's important for us and important for him. So I'll be looking out for
Mhm.
that. Second guy I got is Mike Gillette. I seen him out there. That he looks hungry out there. I mean, all game long, even when it wasn't his shift, at the whistles, he would jump off the bench and be skating around, and he was just hungry. He wanted to do something.
Mhm.
So I want to see that man get fed against the Dogs and maybe put some pucks in the net this weekend for us. And last guy I am going to highlight is Corey Dennis. Um, Especially with Martin out, I would say he's one of the big leaders on that defense. And so I think we need to see a big game out of Corey Dennis. I'd like to see him get a little more aggressive offensively because he has a nice shot. So when he puts the puck on the net, he has a chance at going in. I've seen him kind of back off somewhat on the offensive side of things. I want to see him get aggressive offensively. We need that depth scoring. If he can put the puck in the net, put the puck in the net. So that's my three guys I got.
All righty. For my big three, I'll start with for the game. Number one is going to be play discipline. Kind of like what Wade said. You know, they're going to try to get us to play their game, and we can't. We can't play their game because it's just going to end us in the penalty box. They're going to bait us. They're going to bait us to take stupid penalties. And, you know, maybe that's where Wiesner comes in and, you know, kind of does that for us, you know, because he is kind of one of those players. Um, and my second one's going to be drive to the net. Get people in front of the net. Get some tips. Get some, you know, because this offense is, like we said, offense is kind of struggling a little bit. So maybe get people in front of the net, get some traffic in front of the net, and screen the goalies or screen the goalie, I should say. Get some tips, get some rebounds, and get the puck in the net any way we can. Try to get confidence in the offense. The third is going to be play full 60 minutes. Yeah, we might be up 2-0, but you know what? It's never over until it's over. So play 60 minutes. So that would be my three. Like I said, play smart, play discipline, get some traffic in front of the net, and play a full 60 minutes. Now, my big three players that I'm going to pick. One is going to be Michael McChesney. You know, he's starting to kind of get into a little bit of a rhythm. I just, like Wade said, we need that depth scoring. But you know, if he's scoring at will, sometimes you got to ride it. And if he's gonna keep putting pucks in the net, I'm all for it. It's good to see him starting to kind of get off on the right foot this time, coming kind of off the IR. He is wearing a full cage right now still, so that's my number one. Number two is going to be Kyler Fenton. He is starting to kind of establish himself kind of as a leader of this team. In a way, he sticks up for his teammates. He is a hard hitter. He separates puck and man. For the most part, he is 100% where he needs to be on defensive side of the puck, or on the whoa, I almost said court. I almost said court like basketball. On the ice, on the defensive zone. So yeah, he's going to be my second, and my third is going to be Garrett Devine. It was actually really nice to see him this past weekend. He kind of playing with a little chip on his shoulder as well. He comes in, you know, he's a big body. I saw him smiling a lot. When Evansville would get in his face, he would just kind of smile it off, which I love that. I love seeing that because it's like I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to bait me into a penalty, but it's not going to happen. So that is a very smart thing that Garrett Devine does. So that's my big three players. Anybody else got anything to say before we wrap it up here?
Nope.
Again, there is no opening night for Peoria Speedway because of the weather we had at this past weekend. Track is still too gooey and whatnot. And again, congratulations to Mike McChesney for being the player of the week.
All righty.
And then I'll be seeing you all Saturday.
Yep, we'll be here Saturday. Congratulations to Eric on winning the Eric Stutzman, I should say, on winning the $20 gift card to Bayleaf Indian Restaurant and Bar. Like I said, we will be doing more drawings like what we just got done doing. So stay tuned for that. And on behalf of myself, Big Ben, Wade, thank you for all the fans out there that are liking, sharing our page. I hope you enjoy our show. And like I said, we got some things cooking for this rest of this race year and then for next year. So like I said, keep sharing. Hope you guys enjoy your Wednesday night. Like I said, I'm about to head on out to the Owens Center for a little hockey practice for my son. And Wade, we always try to keep it what style on this podcast?
We always keep it Riverman style.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you Saturday.